Arena, and Bruiser664 watched it and he said, great result for the Canadians, but the real test will be to see how they go against Serbia next weekend. So obviously that's a warm-up for the Canadians. I'm not sure what that match was about or anything like that, but yeah, good stuff. Tell us more next week, Bruiser, like a score. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, and it was the Southern Conference Grand Final. We've got a score this time. It was Hammersmith Hill Hoists, great name, 16, the London Chargers 10. And Dr. Hideous, our London correspondent, got in touch on this one. Said Chargers scored in the first 5 minutes, but never got a grip on the game. Both teams defended well throughout, but also struggled to complete their sets. In the last quarter of the game, defences opened up as they struggled in the heat. Hammersmith eventually had the upper hand, and with a try perplexingly disallowed with just a few minutes to go, they ended up as comfortable winners.
Good stuff to hear about what's going down on the amateur scene down in London, and congratulations to the champion side. I mean, champion in many ways, but the name helps, doesn't it? The Hammersmith Hills Hoists. That's it for all the past week's action. We're now going to look ahead and make our predictions for playoffs in Super League and beyond. So what you listeners don't know is that we've just spent 5 minutes talking about hair and beards, but we're now going to talk about our predictions for the Super League playoffs as they get underway this Thursday night, 7:45pm kickoff on Sky, and it's Warrington hosting Castleford in a do-or-die match up where the loser goes home and the winner stays in. Let's do these predictions in alphabetical order, and we'll start with Alan. Who do you think is going to win?
No great confidence in either of these. Cass by 4, though.
I'm going to go for Warrington. I'm thinking home advantage. Blake Austin's got a bit of game time under his legs now as well, and they've done knockouts. Warrington by 8. Sarah?
Yeah, simply because they can't both lose. I'm going to go for Warrington by 6 and Stefan Ratchford to be the game changer. But
not announced in the squad originally. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
okay.
There has to be a winner.
Friday night, then, it's the two second chances in second and third place. 7:45pm kickoff Sky. Just to note, actually, to anyone who's attending this game or who's thinking about going to a playoff game this weekend, at 5:30pm, the Under-19s Academy Grand Final will kick off with Wigan again reaching the final at that level. They'll be playing St Helens, so it should be a cracker. It's the top two teams going head-to-head. So that's a game that shouldn't be missed either. But then the Sky cameras will be out for the Wigan versus Salford game. Alan, how do you see this one going?
I've got to go home on this one. I don't think there'll be much in it, though. I don't think there'll be much in either of them. Wigan by 2.
I'm going to back my Wigan Warriors. Liam Farrell back in the mix. Partington out, but that gives Navarrete a chance to bounce back. We've beaten Salford 3 times already this season. Hopefully we can use what we've learned in those occasions to win this one by 8 points, I'm saying. Sarah?
I'm going to go also Wigan. I'm going to go Wigan by 10.
Do we think that game will be a more exciting game than the other one because there's less peril on it, because the winner goes through to play Saints the next week, the loser still gets another game the next week?
I think it'll be a bit freer, won't it? Potentially. Less tension.
They could both be as bad as each other.
You don't really care, do you, Sarah?
Nah. Do you know something? I'm so pleased our season's over.
Save it for the season review show. That's going to be a good one, I think. Right. Championship playoffs. We've got York versus Featherstone and Toronto versus Toulouse in these games. So York versus Featherstone, loser goes home, winner stays in. I'm going to reverse the order. Sarah, who do you pick?
Featherstone.
I I kind of lean in that way too. Maybe a recent form is too much in my head, but they were fantastic against Lee, so I'm going Fev as well. Al?
York to bounce back.
Okay, and then in the Toronto versus Toulouse battle of the overseas favourites for promotion, Sarah?
Toulouse, because I don't like Toronto.
I kind of, in a way, hope to lose because of what they're like, but I think Toronto will win. They'll bring it down to their scrappier level and win narrowly. I'm going to go Toronto by a small margin. Al?
Toulouse to scrape this first battle. I think they'll be playing again before the end of the year.
Okay, League One. Oldham versus Doncaster. This is the... this isn't the loser go at home game. This one is the top two ranked sides. So, any view, Sarah?
Doncaster.
Of course. Al?
Oldham.
I'm going to go with Doncaster again. I was just impressed by them on the weekend, so I will go Doncaster as well as Sarah. Newcastle versus Workington. Can Newcastle bounce back from what was a bit of a woeful comeuppance this weekend? Alan, do you think they can?
Yes.
I'm going to go Newcastle too. I'm going to go Newcastle by 20. Sarah?
Nah, I'm going to go for Workington.
Okay. So a bit of a mixed bag from us all there. That's pretty good. The NRL, we've got one Britpit game to look out for this weekend because, of course, the mighty Canberra Raiders have earned a bye, so they get a week off. And so do the Roosters, where Ryan Hall isn't going to play but is in their book, so we'll talk about it. It's the Rabbitohs versus the Sea Eagles, Friday at 10:50am to see if the Burgesses can keep their season alive. And of course Joshua's Eels will be playing against the Melbourne Storm as well at the weekend. I think that's on Saturday morning, isn't it? So expect another sleepover at Grandad's.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, anyone who watches any of those games or any other rugby league games, if there's other action going on around the world of rugby league, please do get your fan views in. God, this week I have to do work to get the Google form set up, because I have to input all the fixtures onto Mark's super app because they're not in there already, are they?
No.
So that's a reminder for me, and a reminder for you all to get your fan views in and reward the work that we do with your fan views. Okay, that's pretty much all she wrote for this week's episode. Got a little bit of a quiz for you guys, and then we'll say our goodbyes. Okay, SLP quiz. And apologies to the listeners, but this is going to be a fight between Alan and Sarah, and you guys just can pause after I've read the question and give your answers, because we're going to go with a fastest finger first kind of scenario. And the quiz this week is about the Dream Team, the 2019 Dream Team, and I've picked out some of their season-long stats, and all you need to do is tell me which player the stats that I'm reading out apply to. So, the first one, these I think get slightly more difficult as we go on, but we'll see. The first one is, this player had 3,803 metres and an average of 152 metres per game. Who was it?
Alan. Liam Watts.
Alan. No, it was not Liam Watts, no. Sarah, do you want to steal then?
Can you read the stats again?
Ooh, 3,803 metres at an average of 152 metres per game.
Tommy Makinson.
Yes, it was Tommy Makinson.
Ha!
Okay, so I would say fingers on buzzers, but it's more tongues on your name. 9.5 metres per carry average gain from his 279 carries.
Sarah.
Go for it, Sarah.
Duke Thompson.
No. Do you want to have a go at it, Alan?
Let's go for Liam Watts.
Put your obsession aside. No props gonna. For a start, he would have had a lot more than 279. No, it's Darryl Clark Well done to anyone out there who got that. I mean, it's a phenomenal record, that 9.5 metres per carry from 279 carries. He does this every year in as well, year out at Darrell Clark. Fantastic carrier of the ball. Okay, the final one then. 125 metres per game and 36 tackles per game.
Alan. Is it Liam Farrell?
It is Liam Farrell.
I knew you'd have one in there. I bloody knew it.
That has us at drawing, so we need a tiebreaker question. I didn't prepare for this.
No, we don't.
It's all right. We don't need to have golden point. We're happy to accept a draw.
I'll accept a point each, and we'll go with a handshake.
Fair enough. Okay. In that case, I was going to let who won go with their recommendations first, but in the spirit of the draw, I'm going to let Sarah go with the recommendations first because she got the first one right.
Fair enough.
My recommendation is get a log burner installed. They are amazing.
Yes, this was a couple of weeks ago now, wasn't it, that you had this put in? So
yeah.
I mean, I was a little bit worried because the kids seemed awfully close to it in the first picture I saw.
The kids weren't in the first picture.
No, it was the dog, weren't it? What am I on about?
The cat.
It was some animal.
You can't tell the difference between my children and the cat.
I thought it was a dog. But it looked really amazing. So is it dead good?
Amazing. Pardon?
Is it dead good, yeah?
It's amazing. I was freezing cold last Monday, and it was really wet after doing the school run, and I lit it and I moved the armchair in front of it, and I sat and worked there all day in front of it. It was beautiful.
Good stuff.
So there you go. Get yourself a log burner.
That's quite a different recommendation. I like that.
It is.
I'm going back to TV, and well, it's a DVD box set. We're Anna and I are watching this rather than the news because the news is just way too depressing to watch now. We're catching up with Larry Sanders Show, which is from the early 90s. Gary Shandling. We actually bought the box set after Gary Shandling passed away, actually. But yeah, the Larry Sanders Show, it's like 8 seasons. It's phenomenal. Spoof talk show format. Absolutely genius. Highly recommended if you haven't already watched it, even though it's 30 years old.
Sneaking in as a late entry into my recommendations list, but I wasn't going to. But you've just reminded me. Just before we came together to record this show, your wife Anna tweeted a link to a post someone had written about the last episode of Biker Grove, and it blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. So yeah.
Biker Grove.
I used to live around the corner from Biker.
There you go.
Did you ever see Jeff?
No, I didn't ever watch Biker Grove, so I wouldn't have known who anyone was.
His unmistakable handlebar moustache. Anyway, my real recommendation was a beer by Turning Point Brewery, and it's called Swerve Driver. It's a IPA, a super hopped IPA. It's delicious. The nicest beer I've had for some time. So yeah, get your lips around that if you're into your pale beers. That's and
actually, what you could do is you could drink your beer while watching Al's show in front of your log burner.
There you go.
Great shout. Do you know what? When I had to remember what the beer was called, so I took a picture of it the other day because I take pictures of ones that I remember. And you know, well, you won't know. My phone does this thing where it just randomly pops up with old reminders of old pictures and stuff, and the one that was showing at the top of the page was when Phil Nadin got a tiger face paint at the summer bath.
Yeah.
What a memory. Anyway. Back to more sensible things. Next week's show, David Powell's back on the show, so we will find out before Saints get their playoff campaign underway whether he is worried or not. We'll catch up a little bit on that angle.
He should be.
Yeah, maybe. We could potentially have a Wigan Saints game to preview, and we'll definitely have a Wigan Saints game to talk about because the Academy Grand Final takes place this week. People can find the show and share details about the show. Our social media pages are at